Guys, do you remember the days when you were ready to go at the drop of a hat in the bedroom? Now you can increase your performance and get that extra confidence in bed. Listen up. Blue Chew brings you the first chewable with the same FDA-approved active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, so you know they work. You can take them anytime, day or night, even on a full stomach. And since they're chewable, they work up to twice as fast as a pill, so you can be ready to go whenever the opportunity strikes. Blue Chew has made all the difference in the bedroom for me personally, and if you could benefit from extra function and more confidence where it counts, Blue Chew is the fast and easy way to enhance your performance. Most guys talk a good game, but Blue Chew helps you follow through. Blue Chew is prescribed online and shipped straight to your door in a discreet package, so no in-person doctor's visit, no waiting in line at the pharmacy, and best of all, no more awkwardness. They're made in the USA, and since Blue Chew prepares and ships direct, they're cheaper than a pharmacy. Right now, we've got a special deal for our listeners. Visit BlueChew.com and get your first shipment free when you use our special promo code SATURDAY. You just pay $5 shipping. Again, that's BlueChew.com. Promo code SATURDAY to try it free. Thanks so much to Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast this week. And remember, Blue Chew is the better, cheaper, faster choice.
Snap to Mahomes at his belt, sidestepping, fires for the end zone. The pass is going to be caught. Touchdown, Kansas City. Patrick Mahomes.
I thought he was just jumping in the stands and he grabbed the camera. I was like, what in the world?
Firing down the seam, Tyreek Hill. 10-5, touchdown, Kansas City.
Set the tempo early, baby. Set the tempo early, baby.
You are now listening to the official PM15 podcast. Presented by GASN Sports. Dedicated to NFL MVP Patrick Mahomes as he establishes his legacy and continues on his journey to bring a Super Bowl to Chiefs Kingdom. Featuring weekly guests, expert analysis, and fan interaction. Now, please welcome your hosts, Clint Schweitzer and Noah Groniger.
Well, Noah, we may have seen hashtag Team Trash rear its ugly head a few times in Mexico City, but prevailing with a win are the Kansas City Chiefs. 24-17, they hold off a late rally by the Los Angeles Chargers to get to 7-4, sitting atop the AFC West. But you know what? That's not to say there's not a lot of questions and concerns still being raised. I wrote the article. It's on our website, gasnsports.com. Chiefs survived the clash in Mexico City, but something still appears very wrong. Got a lot of criticism from that. But Noah, takeaways from the Chiefs' win over the Chargers. It's definitely a game where you'd like to see your offense not have 3 possessions with the ball at the end of the game and not the concerns. Yeah, win out 7-4. Not where we wanted to be. There's all sorts of thoughts I have. I know you have some as well. Where are we here after that game over the Chargers?
Yeah, I had a strong feeling of deja vu while watching the game. I felt like I was watching the Titans game all over again, except this time at the end we came out with a clutch play and a win there. Daniel Sorensen with the late pick of Phillip Rivers, who I've just got to kind of go off here on Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers is done. There's a lot of talk out there. His contract's up after this year. Will he re-sign with the Chargers? He wants to go back to North Carolina, to his high school where his dad coached, and he wants to be a coach there. So maybe he could catch on with the Carolina Panthers, the Tennessee Titans, kind of move closer there towards the end of his career to moving officially to when he's retired to North Carolina. I think it's over, and he's officially retired at the end of this year and will be in North Carolina coaching his former high school football team. Because he's awful. This is 7 interceptions in 2 games now. He is just lobbing ducks up in the air. You talk about just Father Time's undefeated, and we've been questioning that because it doesn't seem to be the case for Tom Brady, but it's the case with everyone else on Mother Earth, and Phillip Rivers has succumbed to it finally. This is like Peyton Manning at the end of his career. The defense carried him. The Chargers defense is not that 2015 Broncos defense, I believe it was. And, it's just over for Phillip Rivers. We say goodnight to him. We wish him well, and him and his 9, maybe 10 children cooking in the oven, the 10th one right now, I don't know. But the Kansas City Chiefs, takeaways from this game in Mexico City. The offense might have been slow throughout the night, not only with Tyreek Hill's hamstring injury, but also with the field. We saw from the first play, Hunter Henry catches the ball. He slammed into the ground. There's giant turf in his head. In his helmet before the game, they're kicking, and a huge spot of the turf comes up. I mean, people were slipping around. The timing was thrown off. And it just wasn't a good playing field to be, a playing surface to be on. And I just don't see why we're going to Mexico City, why we're going to London. I know it's money, but we're talking about player safety here. The NFL says we care about player safety. We've got all these rules, but yet, no, we want 18 games. We want to play on unsafe playing surfaces. Like, they're talking out of both sides of their mouth, as they usually do. We shouldn't be surprised, but I just had to bring it up because it's hypocrisy at its finest. It's a joke. But back to the game. Andy Reid is kind of losing me here. And I don't think he should be fired. I'm not calling for his head or he's on the hot seat. But at the end of the Titans game, at the end of this game against the Chargers, he's taking the ball out of Patrick Mahomes' hands. He's playing like he's got Alex Smith under center. This is Patrick Mahomes, the reigning MVP of the league. The man can do magic back there behind that the starting offensive line, finally back healthy. He can work his magic with all the weapons we have, and he's running the ball. He's doing screens to Blake Bell like we saw in the Titans game, screens to Darrell Williams because Damian Williams and LaShawn McCoy were hurt in that game and out late in the game. Give Patrick Mahomes the ball. Let him decide what he's going to do. It's like Andy is saying, no, this is going to be my play call, my genius play call. We're going to catch him in this, catch him in that, and I'm going to get the credit. I'm a control freak. I'm not going to have the ball in Patrick Mahomes' hands, which is crazy. He's the reigning MVP. Just let him have the ball. I didn't understand it, and I'll let you take it away on the defense. I think they get a little tip of the cap there because the Chiefs kind of fell apart there in the second half and definitely in the fourth quarter on offense, and they carried the day and were able to see it through to a win.
They did, and Daniel Sorensen makes an interception because everybody was holding their collective breath, thinking, oh my God, here it's going to happen again. The Chargers are going to score, they're going to go for two, and they're going to win just like they did last year at Arrowhead Stadium, deja vu all over again. But not so fast. The Chiefs have beaten the Chargers something like 11 out of 12 times now. That's what they do. The Chiefs win division games. In Mexico City, you expect some kind of wonky things to happen, like you said, the field. I expected more injuries, although Tyreek Hill injured his hamstring in the game. We saw some of it, certainly, and we'll see what the news is on him. I'm assuming with the bye week coming up that all hands should be on deck for the Raiders game coming up. We'll get to that in a minute, and we'll get to the Raiders in a minute. Defensively, yes, you do tip of the cap, 4 picks. It should have been like 7. Obviously, you had the easiest interception in the history of the NFL, lobbed up like a duck, like a jug ball, thrown up, and Tyrann Mathieu, all he had to do was catch it with no one around him, and he just dropped the ball. It's unacceptable. I know he had a big pick early in the game, but all that Tyrann Mathieu does, the Honey Badger, is on Twitter telling people how they're going to fix it. They're going to be better, and calling out naysayers and saying, forget the haters, and he's got to make that play. I know he had a pick in the game, but when it's like that, when you rarely in your life are you ever going to have an opportunity like that again. And that would have put the game on ice. The game's over. 24-9. The Chargers hadn't even scored a touchdown at that point. They got their only touchdown of the game a couple plays later, and the game would have been over. And yet they're given life because of a missed opportunity. There was other plays. There was 2 muff punts that the Chiefs couldn't get on.
Never can. We're never going to be there, so just let that go.
The special teams gaffes are still occurring, even though you didn't have any disasters like you did in the Titans game. Frank Clark coming back, he had a couple sacks, had the strip, very important play, no doubt about it. And the ball went right to Derek Nottie there for the interception. It was a fumble anyway, strip, fumble, sack, interception, all good, all there. What the Chiefs are doing, forcing that. And aside from the Titans game, you could point to real progress. The fact is the Titans game is still in there. It's still looming. The 188 yards to Derrick Henry. The inability to make a stop at the end of the game in that situation. So I'm not going to sit here and say the Chiefs defense has changed. I'm not going to be like the girl that has her boyfriend beat her up 4 times a year and then keep saying that he's changed. I'm not willing to go there yet. Are you?
No, it's not changed, but I think we can kind of line this thing up and see what went wrong in the Titans game where it had gone previously right in the Vikings game and fairly well in this Chargers game. And that's Mike Pennell and more snaps for Saunders and Nottie in the middle and moving kind of Jones outside, having Frank Clark back obviously helped. But Mike Pennell being out of that Titans game inactive was asinine to me when I saw it, but I just kind of let it go. Like, hey, they know what they're doing. maybe he didn't play as well. I don't have the coach's tape and but he comes back in this game and he's out there. He got a sack. He had a tackle for loss. He was making big stops in the run game, and he did the same thing against the Vikings, shutting down Dalvin Cook, maybe the best running back in the NFL. And he comes back here and does a great job, and he was just a healthy scratch, inactive, just like LaShawn McCoy was against the Tennessee Titans, and we give up 188 to Derrick Henry. And I think you're seeing that the Chiefs looked at that and said, well, we probably need to figure out our numbers here and make sure Mike Pennell sees the field and is active for this game, because we got lit up against the Tennessee Titans, especially late in that game, and that didn't happen here against the Chargers. Yeah, they had a few nice runs, but for the most part, and when it counted, we were bottling them up, whether it was Eckler or Gordon.
What are the prospects of this team going forward? We have an article on our website right now, gasnsports.com, that kind of give you the analytics, that give you the percentages. And I'm just going to run through a few of them here and then kind of see what your thoughts are. Again, you can go to gasnsports.com. You can get the article there. These stats are courtesy of playoffstatus.com. Right now, Noah, the Chiefs have an 84% chance of making the playoffs, 76% chance of winning the West, a first-round bye, not too bad, 15%, which is better than I would give it right now. The number one seed, how about 2%? Playing in the AFC Championship game, as we did a year ago, 24%. That's pretty high. Chance of making the Super Bowl is at 11%, and winning it at 5%. Your reaction to some of those numbers, and then where your mindset is right now?
The Super Bowl percentage, I think you'd have to have a little bit higher.
Higher?
5% with Patrick Mahomes. Like, I'm sorry, just for Patrick Mahomes alone, I'd probably give it, if not a 10%, and not, again, it's just a few percent I'm talking about here difference. I'm not saying a 20% chance, a 40% chance. This offense has to find itself. This defense is what it is. I mean, I don't think they're going to get magically just great number 10 defense, probably even number 15, but this defense is what it is. They're starting to create turnovers. If Mike Pennell's in, if Frank Clark is getting healthy, they can make a few plays here and there. They can get some stops when they need to, depending on who they're playing. Maybe not an Aaron Rodgers, but that didn't happen there with that two-headed monster in the backfield, Aaron Jones and Jarvis Williams back there. But they're starting to play better from earlier in the season. Yeah, we had that hiccup against the Titans, and we couldn't get the stop late against the Packers. But Mike Pennell coming on, getting more familiar with this defense, knowing where he's got to be, and Frank Clark finally being healthy off that pinched nerve. And Rashad Fenton has been a nice find in the secondary. Well, Kendall Fuller's been out. A rookie 6th-round pick from South Carolina, Rashad Fenton, had an interception against Phillip Rivers. He just seems to get his head around. He's always near the guy. He's never just lost out there like we've seen so many years past, especially with Orlando Scandrick out there. But this offense has to find itself, which is crazy. I didn't think I'd be saying that. You watched the broadcast last night. Everyone was saying Patrick Mahomes is playing better. He's a better quarterback this year. Maybe the numbers don't really show it out as far as touchdowns and yards. And yeah, he missed a couple of games with the knee dislocation, but his yards per play, just the decisions he's making, the eye test, he's playing a better brand of football, taking care of the football, although he did have an interception last night. But this offense has to find itself, and I think it's not even really the players. I think Andy Reid has to get out of the way of this offense. And Eric Bieniemy might have to get out of the way of this offense. Too many times we're running the football with Darrell Williams. He's getting a yard, and you got to put the ball in Patrick Mahomes' hands. All of these screens are nice when you're sure that it's going to hit. We're running way too many screens that can't hit every time. You've got to notice something in the defense, a susceptibility to it, and then call it where it's really going to work and get them when they're bringing the house at you. But they're calling it far too often. They're taking the ball and the decisions out of Patrick Mahomes' hands, saying you're going to run the ball, so you're not going to have a decision to make in this play other than handing it off, or you're running this screen where the only option is Darrell Williams or Blake Bell, as we've seen in the past couple weeks. And so you're taking the ball out of Patrick Mahomes' hands and putting it in not even Tyreek Hill's hands, but Cole Hardman's hands, Travis Kelce's hands. You're trying to win a game and salt it away and come up with these great plays and first down making plays, drive-saving plays with Blake Bell and Darrell Williams. What are you doing, Andy Reid?
Fair. Fair enough. I'm on board with that. I said the same thing last night. When you have 3 possessions where you have a chance to salt this game away, whether you kick a field goal to go up 10 and put the game out of reach, whether you keep getting first downs and take time off the clock, whether you score a touchdown and put the dagger in the heart, whatever it is, they were not able to do it. And it does come back to the play calling. On 2 of the possessions, there were 4 screen passes called. I think 2 of them were incomplete. You had 2 runs to Darrell Williams going nowhere. The running back situation is a disaster. I mean, Damian Williams and Shady McCoy are hurt. You're going to have to make some roster moves. And by the time this airs, the Chiefs may have brought in another running back. We will see.
We have a bye week. I don't know. Maybe Damian Williams, it could be a serious rib injury. It was his ribs. We're not sure. We're waiting on that. The bye week will help. I think LaShawn McCoy get back at least with concussion protocol. He'll get that extra week of rest. So we may not need to bring in someone if we do truly trust Darwin Thompson to come out there. I'm not sure they trust him all that much, as he's been inactive quite a bit here lately.
Well, Noah, I know there are a lot of people out there like us that like to have more than just a rooting interest in some of these games. So attention, past, present, and future MyBookie players. During Thanksgiving week, MyBookie is offering a risk-free bet on the Bears-Lions game. Simply choose a team against the spread for up to $250. If you win, congratulations, you've got extra holiday spending money. If you lose, congratulations to you as well. MyBookie will give you all your money back. It's a no-brainer because, folks, you literally cannot lose. It's no risk, all gravy. It doesn't matter whether you're an experienced player or a first-time customer, MyBookie welcomes all to come play, so quit waiting around and sign up today. Do you find yourself wanting to sports bet but have lots of questions? Don't sweat it. MyBookie's patient customer service team can walk you through the process. And the best part is, if you join this Thanksgiving week, you'll still have one last shot to take advantage of their incredible sign-up offer. Just log on to mybookie.ag and make your first deposit with promo code SATURDAY, and MyBookie will match your deposit dollar for dollar to jumpstart your bankroll, and that's on top of the risk-free bet. Let me repeat, that's guaranteed deposit match and a risk-free bet for Thanksgiving only. So if you're a true football fan, you do not want to let this opportunity pass you by. You simply can't lose. Make sure you do your part to support your team this season. Hop on the gravy train and get in on the action with MyBookie. You play, you win, you get paid. So go to mybookie.ag, use promo code SATURDAY to win today. Well, we know now that the AFC West is going to come down to the Chiefs and Raiders, and it's probably going to come down to Chiefs and Raiders coming up December 1st at Arrowhead Stadium. Let me just tell you offhand what the Raiders' schedule is the rest of the way. They're going to play the Jets next weekend before coming to Kansas City. Then they're going to be home to the Titans, home to the Jags, at Chargers, at Broncos. Where do you see this shaking out? I've been really slow and hesitant to give a lot of credit to the Raiders. In fact, in their last 2 games against subpar competition, they were barely able to slide by the Chargers. Really poor game against the 0-9 Bengals. It was putrid. They get the win, but here they are. They're in the mix of it. You got to respect that. They're the 6-4. You're 7-4. They're probably going to be 7-4 coming to Arrowhead. Is that how you see it playing out? And with the Chiefs having to go to New England before getting 3 games that I think they're very winnable to close the season out, where do you see this playing out? The AFC West is still up for grabs, unbelievably.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think coming off a bye week, Andy Reid is known for coming off the bye week ready, having his team ready, and coming up with a win by hook or crook. He comes up with it. But the Raiders probably are going to be 7. They've got the Jets coming up. The Jets are playing a little bit better brand of football than what we saw when they lost to the Miami Dolphins, but I still think the Raiders are playing really good football. Derek Carr's playing maybe the best football of his career, other than I believe it was 2016 where he was playing really well and then got injured late in that year. There was talks of maybe him winning the MVP, but that defense is really coming along. It looks like Mike Mayock really hit that draft out of the park. A lot of people were questioning that. Josh Jacobs, what are you doing? We're not sure about running back that high. Cleveland Farrell with your first-round pick. Your first-round pick there, they had multiple for a defensive end out of Clemson that people weren't really sure about, and he's done really well. So it really looks like they're coming on. They're going to be a young, up-and-coming team. That offensive line, Richie Incognito's playing great football, maybe the best, playing the best guard in the NFL. Gabe Jackson's back, healthy for them along that line, too. They've got Rodney Hudson, a stud center. Derek Waller, their tight end that they found, is going to be probably the best tight end in football here in a few years. Once Kelsey gets up in age, he'll rival George Kittle there in San Francisco. So the Raiders have some weapons. They're a good football team. They're really well coached. John Gruden is not stuck in 1997. He's figuring this thing out, and he's got this team playing good football. The Chiefs have to win that game. I think they will. And then if the Chiefs lose to the Patriots, they've got to kind of win out. You mentioned it. The Raiders have an easy schedule. The Chiefs have a fairly easy schedule other than that Patriots game. So they've got to beat the Raiders. They've got to get the sweep over the Raiders if we're looking at winning the AFC West. And right now it looks like the 3 seed is the best case scenario right now. I don't know if the Ravens are losing too many more. And obviously I don't think the Patriots are either.
Yeah, and I think part of these analytics stated that the Chiefs have something like a 20% chance of playing the Buffalo Bills in the wild card round.
Sign me up.
So that could very well be what happens. You really want the Bills to get that wild card spot. So be cheering for them down the stretch as you watch that play out. As far as the top of the NFL right now, we saw that the Patriots kind of circle the wagons a bit and get a big win on the road at the Eagles. I've never been a believer in the Eagles. I've never understood a lot of the praise that they were getting preseason. They're just another NFC East team to me. But the Patriots defense really buckled up, and that they made a play when they had to offensively, the Julian Edelman touchdown pass. But right now, inarguably, no one's playing better than the Baltimore Ravens, a team the Chiefs have already beaten. We talked about it after the Chiefs won that game against the Baltimore Ravens when was it Earl Thomas said, we want another shot at him, we're going to beat him next time, and we kind of laughed at it. Now all of a sudden, the Ravens look like they are absolutely for real. And the Patriots, whereas they got smacked around by the Ravens a little bit, circled the wagons, and it looks like they're probably going to be the 1 seed unless the Chiefs are able to go in there and upset them or something along those lines. How do you see the top of the AFC right now? Because it looks to me like it's Ravens, Patriots, and then kind of a mess. Chiefs, Texans, Colts, whatever.
Yeah, I think if we're talking about Super Bowl contenders, you've got obviously the Patriots, of course. And then, the Ravens. Marcus Spears came out, does a lot of college football, played at LSU, came out and said, the Ravens are playing great. And the Chiefs, they have no chance at beating the Ravens, except we already have, and the defense is getting better, and our offense, I think, we'll figure it out. I think a lot of that last night or Monday night against the Chargers was that playing field and the playing surface that they were on, not being able to cut, and Andy Reid's got to figure some things out over this bye week. They got to self-scout and figure themselves out and give Patrick Mahomes the ball and let him make some decisions and not have Andy Reid say, no, I'm making the decision. We're running the ball. We're going to do this screen. Let Patrick Mahomes get the ball out to whoever he disseminates and decides who's going to get the ball. Give him the decision. So I think Andy Reid will figure that out in this bye week. And the top of the AFC, I think there's only 3 teams that can win the Super Bowl in the AFC. Call me crazy, but I think it's the Patriots, the Ravens, and the Chiefs. I don't believe in the Texans. I don't believe in the Colts. I know you're looking at me saying, hey, those 2 teams already beat the Chiefs, but you got Patrick Mahomes. The defense is getting better. I just think when it comes down to it, when it comes playoff time, you've got the proven head coach in Andy Reid. I just think that they are going to be the ones that if a team other than the Ravens or Patriots is going to make the Super Bowl, it's going to be the Chiefs come out of it. And that's how I see the AFC. As far as the NFC, I like the Saints. I like the Seahawks because they've been there. They've done it. I'm not a believer in the 49ers. You can call me out, gsnsports.com. Come at us, at gsnsports on Twitter. Tweet me. I don't care. I'm not a believer in the Niners. They're a fraud. I don't care how many games they win down the stretch against the Cardinals and Bengals and whoever else they play. The Rams, who have fallen off the face of the earth. I'm not a believer in Jimmy Garoppolo. I like Kyle Shanahan, what he can do calling plays. Their defense is all right, but I just don't see them making it. I don't know who else to believe in the NFC other than the Seahawks and the Saints. Not the Cowboys. I'm not sure to believe in
Vikings.
No, definitely not the Vikings. Kirk Cousins can't figure it out. They almost lost to the Broncos. They were down, I believe, 23-3 there in the fourth quarter, and they had a nice comeback. But you can't be down 23-3. Brandon Allen back there for the Denver Broncos at quarterback. That's a joke. And the Packers, I guess, you got to trust Aaron Rodgers, but until I see some more explosion from that offense, to me, it's just the Seahawks and Saints in the NFC.
Can't argue there, folks. I cannot thank you enough for checking us out here on the official PM15 podcast as we are writing this thing out. We really want to make a special kinship with this quarterback and this team and this city, and we've been able to do that through our group, Patrick Mahomes Fans Facebook group. Guys, if you haven't joined it yet, there's 102,000 strong. It's the biggest Chiefs group on Facebook. Big shout out to you guys, and big thanks to our moderators who really keep the insanity to a minimum, which is hard to do when you have that many people. Guys, hit us up on our website, gasnsports.com, on Twitter at PM15 Podcast. Guys, if you have a request, if you have anything you want to say to us, some interaction, some feedback, hit us up. We're all over the place. You can go to the group and just enjoy being a part of the Chiefs community and then the people that are cheering Patrick Mahomes on as, being someone that's literally larger than life, larger than the NFL. And we have are good friends with his agent, Lee Steinberg, who's a moderator on the group. And so many big things, so much content coming up. So stay in tune for that. Enjoy the bye week. Noah, we're not going to take a bye week. We don't have a bye week here as podcasters. We got to keep it rolling. So join us back next week.
We don't have a bye week.
Sorry, you can erase
plans.
your plans.
I'm traveling. I'm going to Burma. I cannot exchange these tickets. You might have to do the show alone.
Turks and Caicos for me, my friend. I'll see Jeff Schwartz there, so it'll be great. Thank you so much for joining us. Back next week as we set the scene for the last quarter of the season here on the official PM15 podcast.